report from the New York Post. It has been reported that once migrants have been arrested, that they are allowed to return back to the shelter, getting free housing and everything else they can get from that situation. Now, it's also been reported that in Midtown New York City, that about 3 out of 4, so 75% of the arrests being made nowadays are that of migrants. And so the deputy mayor is saying, well, we don't want to say that they can't go back to getting shelter after they've been arrested. Now, they've also said that out of the 200,000 migrants that have gone to New York City, 150,000 are no longer in shelters, and they are on their feet. I don't even know what that means, but they just said that they have gotten help from the city to do that. Now, my question is this: does that only apply to migrants? Can everybody else go back to shelters once they're arrested? Now, that says once they're arrested. Once they're charged, I don't know if that's a different thing. I'd imagine if they charge and they go to jail, then that would be their housing. But I tell y'all a story all the time about a young man that I met once before. He was homeless. He was hungry, did not have anything to eat. It was the day after Thanksgiving, and he was just walking around hungry. He was 23 years old, and he says that normally he would go to the church to get fed because they feed the homeless and things like that. But because it was the day after Thanksgiving, the church was not open, so he had to wait until I think it was that following Monday. And I said, well, what about the shelters? And he said, I cannot go into the shelters because I am convicted of a sex offense. Now, that sex offense was he got caught urinating outside, and a white woman was walking by with her daughter, called the police, and they arrested him, and they charged him with being a sex offender, so he cannot go into shelters. And so he was living a life on the streets at the age of 23 years old, not being able to help himself. He could not move to Georgia to be with his grandmother because his probation officer wouldn't let him do that. And so when I hear stories about migrants doing God knows what they're doing, and it said most of their arrests are robberies, assaults, and things like that. But when I hear them doing that kind of stuff and they get to go get all there is to get, even though they've been arrested, it makes me mad. It makes me mad. Due to stories that I just told you about that young brother. Now, I don't know what happened to him. I'm hoping that he was able to go to Georgia to be with his grandmother so he doesn't have to be on the streets and things like that. But when I hear that there's all this help for migrants who are breaking the law and none for people like that brother, I think we need to do something about that. We need to think about the leadership or the misleadership that we vote for. Obviously, Eric Adams, who is the mayor there, he is very pro-immigrant, even though now he's trying to say we need to make some changes. After 200,000 immigrants, and there's probably more that you haven't counted, now you want to make some changes after all that money and help that they got? Neglecting New Yorkers and specifically Black New Yorkers. Now you want to make some changes? Yeah, I think the voters there should make some changes. They should change your behind up out of that seat. So anyway, y'all tell me what you think of that. And for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, The Demetra Kaye Show, here on YouTube. Peace.